stories Michael shared with me was about his children, and they took him to a famous jazz club called the Knitting Factory, and I'd like him to share that story with us.
You ready, Daniela? Adam?
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Knitting Factory on Father's Day, and I might be embellishing, but I told my kids, you know, when you listen to music that doesn't seem most comforting, or it's a lot of dissonance, or it's just, you can't stand it, just let it flow over you, you know, don't resist it. You know where this is going, right? So I was sitting there, and they were sitting in front of me, and they were happy as clams. And I was being tortured. The music was grating on me, and I was just, God, when is it going to end? And it's Father's Day, and there was a break. And then my kids came over to me and said, Dad, don't resist it. Let it flow over you. Let it flow over you. You know? And at the end, they disappeared and showed up with a disc with signatures of all the musicians. Happy Father's Day.
And so what we were talking about, or you don't necessarily have to understand it.
All right.
That's what you were telling me. Yeah. Let it flow over you. So. Classics again. I'm getting old, people. When did you first become seriously interested in art? Gosh.
Probably when I signed up, I was in Israel, and I went to the Bezalel Academy there, and there was no art department per se. And I ended up studying graphic design, and part of the courses there were etching and drawing and painting, and that's when I fell into it, pretty much. I had good teachers, and it was a fun time.
Ooh. Okay. What turns you on creatively?
Good art, good ideas, being around good artists, and I think most of all, surprising moments. Whether you see some kind of configuration, you say, wow, I didn't think of that, or when something clicks, something falls into place. Because most of the time we're just struggling in the dark, you know, trying to make sense of it all. And when that moment of clarity hits you, something that was sort of diffused and out of focus and suddenly comes closer and closer and closer, and it clicks. I live for those moments, and they are rare.
Like a unicorn. What turns you off?
Toxic people. Is this like the actor studio?
Actually, I'm trying to give it the beat. I'm giving you a beat. Yeah, you're supposed to say something. Well, we have a couple more. We'll definitely get you. What profession other than your own would you have liked to have done?
Probably be a professional musician.
Michael was a musician when he was younger.
Yeah, we played. We had a band. We played. I played guitar. I was fairly good at it.
Did you consider the music over the art at one point?
I was playing classic guitar, and at some point somebody asked if I wanted to have a career playing classic guitar. I didn't have to think very hard, and I said, I'm mentally unfit for that. Why? Because if you're a plastic artist, you can work at a certain time, and you can not work at another time, and you can work for a show. Musicians, jazz musicians as well, have to show up on time, mostly on time, and perform. And I couldn't do it. Also, I wasn't good enough.
I wish I had a guitar, I really do. What artists have been your biggest influence?
Real influences?
Real influences.
Well, when I was in Israel, I met some friends of mine. The names are Benny Efrat, Neustein, and I continued hooking up with them in New York. But I was influenced by people in my milieu. We called them postmodernists. Our group was facing a brick wall called Carl Andre and Solomon Wade and Donald Judd, the hardcore minimalists, and our response to it took different forms. Gordon Atta Clark cut big holes in buildings and removed the pieces. I broke the plywood sheets. Joe Shapiro came in with small, psychologically, what's the word I'm looking for? Full of psychological innuendos and feelings, little houses, bridges. It was amazing work. He brought back psychology to art, which was amazing at the time. And certain sculptors in Germany, Ulrich Ruckring.
Everyone try to pronounce that. Just kidding. Oh, let's talk about those awards, those prestigious awards. Which one makes you the proudest? I mean, we know your accomplishments, but one of them must have tickled you pink and said, "Oh my God, I got that." Are you kidding me?
Which one what?
I'm talking about your awards. You know, you've been honored by
awards.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, something must have like done it for you big time.
The Guggenheim was fun.
The Guggenheim was fun. We only understood that. I've heard of it, the Guggenheim. Okay, music of choice while working in your studio is?
Probably jazz, but also classical, and I like Paul Simon. I mean, good music, any good music.
Any good music, okay.
The day you were there, I was playing a disc that Daniela put together from the Latin stuff.
Oh yeah, he's totally down with Latin. He's dancing in the studio.
Great stuff.
That's awesome. You know, I used to teach dance, right? Latin. I could have shown you how to do that. When you're brainstorming for a new idea, I know it just comes to you. I mean, as an artist, it comes to you. Music actually helps me with that process. Does it help you when you're sitting there listening to your Latin or jazz? Does it help you process to come up with something new? Like if you're talking about the blocks, like I'm playing like a...
It's not a direct relationship, but when it's not background music, when I'm listening, I remember listening to Bitches Brew the first time. I thought I was going to throw up. And then later on, I discovered that, again, let it flow over you. And listen to it, and there are moments there which connect with my work and say, maybe it has to do with rhythm, location, placement, quality, denseness, diffuseness. And you can see that in good music, or someone who irritates you, like Thelonious Monk sometimes, you don't know what to do with it. And then you think about what is it that makes that happen. And you can make it, not a translation, but you can find, I'm trying sometimes to find an equivalent in abstract sculpture. And it's not easy, but there are beautiful moments that jazz gives me. But I will say it has to come when you're really, really listening. And most of us, me included, music, unless you're at a concert or it's sort of in the background.
Right.
Like in the film, there's music in the background.
Right.
It fills in spaces.
Fillers.
It's a comforting thing.
Okay, what would you like to be doing with your art in 10 years?
I'd like to stay curious.
Curious. I knew you were going to say that, I don't know why. I'm curious.
That's true. I mean, and I didn't invent that. I had a teacher, and I said, "What's it all about?" He said, "Stay curious." And you lose curiosity and doubt, you might as well hang up your, what is it, my axe, or whatever it is.
Hang up your hatchet. How about any advice for young artists just starting out, a little wet behind the ears? Any words of wisdom?
Stay curious, stay passionate, be with other artists. Most of all, don't get cynical. And it's a game, play it, whatever you have to do, artists go to openings, you network, and spend time in the studio and spend time looking. Spend time looking. I have a small business, packing, creating, and shipping art. And I can tell you, the number of times we get wet paintings wet. They just came out of the studio. And there's a way to pack them so that they don't travel wet. And I think, what is it with these people?
These people.
This is a piece that you made, you spent time on it, and let it, enjoy the resonance, enjoy the moment. Doesn't it make sense?
Yes, makes sense to me.
Does it make
It
sense?
also sounds like stupidity, but one word to describe Michael Gitlin.
Restless.
Gosh, okay, that's all I got for you. If anyone would like to participate and ask a question, please feel free to stand up and do so at this point.
It was
Go
so
ahead.
clear.
I have a question.
Give the mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna